Wooden door. Phone heavy.
So, first of all, your first semester grade is practically behind you. I don't know how much Unit 6 will make it into there. Please keep in mind, there are 8 days of school, including the 2 of finals, and my student aides are just as overwhelmed as you are. I rely entirely on their generosity, but I know that if they have schoolwork, that has to be their priority. So in the next 7 days, we will record as much as we can, and I can cut out the time to put it on the internet. But if they don't get it all into the book, then it won't be on your grade. I encourage you to make sure you've handled all your missing assignments as soon as possible. If you leave it for the last minute, I might not have time for that. If you have to make grade corrections, do it ASAP, like really, truly right away. I'll remind you. If everything goes according to plan, Unit 6 homework, Unit 6 exam, and Unit 6 extra credit, plus the winter break reading, will all be in the grade. But I can't promise any of that. Everybody's trying their best. That's all you're going to get out of us. The only grade left beyond what I just listed is the first semester final, which is cumulative, Units 1 through 6. I give you no other paperwork. If you don't have study guides and notes, it's your funeral. You can print them off the internet if you'd like. If you didn't do well because you don't keep good notes, you could start over. You could buy a study guide. You could copy off someone. Yes?
Is the extra credit from
Just pass that. I'm just going to drop it in.
I'll include it in this semester,
Okay.
but you'll have to turn it in soon in the grade correction box. Yes?
How many points will the final be with?
It comes out to being basically one large exam. It's about 50 or 60 multiple choice questions, and so the curve is in the high 40s usually, so it's a little bigger than a usual exam. It's about 8 to 10% of your final grade. Yeah?
So there's no free response, it's only multi-credit?
That's right, because I have to go grade it during the day. So actually, many of you can see your semester grade the day of the final. I spent 45 minutes giving you the test, and we have an hour-and-a-half period for finals.
Yeah.
So in those next 45, as long as the machine's working, I can take your Scantrons, scan them, come back and enter them, and I'll call your name to be like Wheeler, and just come and see your grade. Is it Wheeler?
Bueller?
No, your last name.
My last name or
Hey.
Brian.
I know a guy named Lane Wheeler. I can keep the name, sorry.
Do we start second semester? Do we start with 9 points?
Second semester, you start from 0, so here's an important thing. Here's an important thing. I think you'll all remember that at the beginning of this year, if you missed like one stamp in Unit 1, you were basically failing. That will happen again starting today with this work, because Unit 7 will be another fresh start for you. So just like those first assignments were a really big deal to your grade in the first semester, the same is true with the assignments that are before you, the papers you grabbed today that we'll discuss tomorrow. Please look up. Unit 7 is split in the semesters. All the work you do now, watch me, 7.1, 7.2, the car lot of the future, then finals, semester break, then we get back to Unit 7. And then you turn those in at the end of January. So the assignments that are in front of you now will launch your second semester grade. Some of you just need a fresh start. Stoked. But just so you all realize, these assignments make all the difference to your second semester grade. Your first semester grade is almost over. All that's left is the final. And I offer my students a little lifeline with the final. The final's not easy, but if you do better on the final than your test average, I'll split the difference with you. So if you have a 50% on the exams and you get a 70% on the final, I'll bump your exam average, let's say, to a 60. No. If you do very badly, it just counts as one exam. So for some of you, if you have like 120% in the class, you can skip the final. All it's going to do is subtract by that number of points. And statistically, over the years, just so that you know what to expect, it's considered to be a pretty challenging final, and most of the students, on average, score exactly what their exam average is. Because it's very comparable content, and if you got a 60% so far in the year, to ask you again about the same year, we'll probably get a 60%. That's usually how it works. Please look up. Please look up. 7.1 is due this Thursday, which is the 9th of January. And you will now start 7.6, questions 1 through 8. As soon as I start the movie, it's answering the first question. While you shuffle your papers, I'd like to tell you about this movie. We're in the energy unit, and as you know, energy has been changing quickly. If I taught you the energy unit from 8 years ago, about half of the unit would be wrong. Because energy is the cutting edge of environmental science. If you want to do important research in the scientific field,